You want to hear the moment I turned $0 into nearly $200,000 and then back to zero? Let me tell you how fucking close I came and how one careless miscalculation blew everything to hell. A difficult start, from night shift to startup noise. I was 24, working overnight shifts at a data center. Concrete floors, humming servers, fluorescent lights that never turned off. I should have been grateful for the job. It paid the rent, covered ramen noodles. But I had this nagging sense that I was destined for something bigger. My side project? A SaaS platform that matched freelance writers with editors who needed help polishing content. No brand name, no VC, no hype. Just a Slack community I built, a Google Sheet tracking requests, and a PayPal button. It was modest and shabby. But the idea was simple. Connect the people who write bad English with the editors who could fix it. I spent 6 months building a rough MVP in my nights off. Every sign-up felt like a minor miracle. I got my first client to pay $50 for a 500-word edit. My heart pounded when I saw the PayPal notification. I still remember it. $50 USD. My blood rushed. For that moment, it felt real. The first big deal, the $10K contract that fueled the dream. By month 4, I'd earned maybe $2,000 total. That's when a small content marketing agency reached out via my website contact form. They said, we need 10 polished articles for a product launch. Budget, $10,000. Deadline, 2 weeks. Can you do it? $10,000. To me, that was everything. I said yes. That 2-week sprint was hell. Codeless workflow, Trello boards, semantic version control via docs, dozens of Slack messages at 3 a.m. But the client loved it. They paid me $10,000. I can still feel the euphoria of seeing that number land in my bank account. For the first time in my life, I felt capable. Scaling? To a fault, one metric too many. With that $10,000 cushion, I thought I was starting. I started hiring cheap freelancers from Upwork to scale the platform. I tracked gross revenue obsessively, and it was climbing. $2,000 a month, then $5,000, then $8,000. I got cocky. I thought I had traction. I convinced myself if they'll pay $10,000 once, they'll pay $10,000 again. So I reinvested. Better UI, better servers, better Slack integration. I spent $150,000 building system automation, onboarding flows, marketing funnels. I hired 3 developers, an ops person, and even a part-time concierge to onboard new clients. Key oversight: I hadn't validated demand. I scaled without checking whether the demand was repeatable. YMRE, one little data mistake. When forecasting turns to fiction, here's where I tripped. I forecasted monthly new client signups using the linear trend line for my first 8 months. I assumed revenue grows 50% each month. I built payroll, infrastructure, and burn rate around that. But the forecast was flawed. I didn't account for churn, seasonal dips, or onboarding friction. When client acquisition stalled, I still had full payroll to honor. I still had hosting and SaaS subscription bills. I still had optimistic retention estimates, so I borrowed. I used credit cards. I tapped into a small line of credit until the bottom fell out. The crash. $209,640 in the red. 1 month revenue dipped 20%. Not even noticeable for a healthy business, but for me, it meant I couldn't pay payroll. Developers left, freelancers vanished. The platform crashed under usage spikes. Emails piled up. In 3 months, I went from $150,000 in runway to $209,640 in debt. Developer invoices, credit card balances, server overages. I lost everything. My apartment lease ended. I had to move in with my folks. My bank balance blinked red. My confidence? shattered. More painful than the money was, knowing that one number, my forecast, wasn't reality. Huaizhen, reflection and recovery. What I should have done instead? I spent a week staring at walls, drinking instant coffee with no sugar. Then I started asking myself, what if I had validated by offering manual service first, like just emailing edits manually? Before building the full system, what if I'd tracked active users rather than signups? What if I scaled by action rather than assumption? Lesson hit me like a freight train. Validation is sacred. Forecasts are guesses. Systems must follow demand, not anticipate it. I wrote posts on r/startups and r/entrepreneur. Raw, humbling, real. Everyone responded with empathy and shared their own burn stories. Reddit saved me that week. Rebuilding from ashes. Start small, build for real. I came back differently. Moved everything manual for 3 months. I was the support, the editor, the onboarding, the dev. Just one person holding it together. I charged $500 per month subscriptions to local businesses, limited to 5 clients at a time. I built trust again, lean, sustainable. I paid down the $200,000 over 2 years. Not rich, but debt-free. Then, slowly, I began rebuilding product. But this time with a sturdier foundation, small, tested, profitable units. Closing, not the end, just a hard lesson. Here's the truth, I lost $200,000 because I scaled without validation. I assumed demand instead of proving it. But that loss wasn't an end. It was a brutal course correction. Today, I run a lean content service that earns $8,000 per month. Not a startup unicorn, but profitable, sustainable, and built on reality. If one sentence stays with you, let it be, build only what people pay for, then scale. Because the cost of building what nobody wants is far higher than you think. End.
How I lost everything from one mistake.
That's all I can say for now. Thanks for being here. I hope it kept you on the edge. Hit subscribe. This could be the last time we meet. New stories drop daily, if I make it to tomorrow. That's all I can say for now. Thanks for being here. I hope it kept you on the edge. Hit subscribe. This could be the last time we meet. New stories drop daily, if I make it to tomorrow.